Every summer, the Canadian National Exhibition transforms Toronto into the ultimate playground for food, music, culture, and thrills. In 2025, the X welcomed over 1 million visitors, with more than 60 rides, hundreds of food vendors, and world-class performances. I got to experience it all. So let's take one last look back before the summer ends. Before the crowds poured in, I caught a glimpse of the food trucks, and there was a lot. It's the calm before the frenzy, when cooks are prepping sizzling grills and colorful menus are being set up. By the time the gates open, people line up for everything from deep-fried classics to Instagram-worthy creations. On average, visitors spend around $60 a day at the CNE, and trust me, a big chunk of that goes to the food. One of the best ways to take in the X is from above on the Skyride. Floating across the fairgrounds, you can see the glittering midway, the crowds forming around the stages, and the Toronto skyline in the background. It's like hitting pause on the chaos to soak in the scale of it all. From up there, you really feel how massive the CNE is, covering almost 200 acres of fun. Music was a huge part of the X this year. One highlight was Jamaican reggae legend Luciano. His soulful voice brought laid-back island vibes to Toronto, and the crowd swayed along as the sun set. Concerts like this are part of what makes the CNE so unique. You could go from eating carnival snacks to watching a global icon perform all in the same evening. Families were in for a treat with the Shaolin Kung Fu Kids. These young martial artists delivered an electrifying show of discipline and skill, mixing flips, kicks, and traditional moves passed down for centuries. It was more than just entertainment. It was a glimpse into the rich culture of Shaolin training, showing the balance of strength, focus, and art. Then came a moment of pure heart. Jackie and Patrick renewing their vows at the CNE. With rides, lights, and cheering crowds all around, it showed that the X isn't just about fun and games. It's also about making memories that last a lifetime. It was a beautiful reminder of the human side of this giant festival. Nostalgia hit hard with 98 Degrees taking the stage. The 90s boy band had the crowd singing every word, and for a lot of fans, it felt like being transported back in time. The CNE always mixes acts for every generation, and this concert was proof. Music can bring together old fans and new ones in the same space. The Commodores turned Exhibition Place into a Motown party. With smooth grooves and funk-filled classics, the legendary band had everyone dancing. The CNE prides itself on bringing international acts that cross generations, and this performance showed that timeless music never fades. Cultural performances also shined this year. The Lavendia dancers brought Greek tradition to life with elegant costumes, precise steps, and an infectious energy. The CNE has always been about celebrating Toronto's diversity, and watching these dancers felt like traveling overseas without ever leaving the fairgrounds. The ice skating show is a longtime CNE tradition, and 2025 was no exception. Skaters dazzled the audience with jumps, spins, and perfectly choreographed routines. It's a cool escape from the summer heat and proof that the X doesn't just live on the midway, it brings artistry to every corner. Of course, no visit to the X is complete without the SuperDogs. This show has been a fan favorite for decades, combining comedy, agility, and pure cuteness. Dogs of all shapes and sizes raced, jumped, and totally stole the spotlight, reminding us that sometimes the simplest joys are honestly the most fun. Canadian rock band Marianas delivered one of the most high-energy shows of the summer. With powerful vocals, lights, and a roaring crowd, it was like a perfect example of how the CNE supports Canadian talent alongside global stars. Another unexpected thrill came from CCW Wrestling. With body slams, high-flying moves, and larger-than-life characters, it was pure entertainment and, honestly, added something completely different to the fairground lineup. The crowd loved every second of the action. Mical Teja kept the Caribbean vibes strong with a high-energy soca performance. His music had the whole crowd moving, almost like the X had totally transformed into carnival. It was definitely one of the most lively, colorful shows of the year, proving that Toronto's multicultural spirit is absolutely alive at the CNE. And finally, the grand tradition, the Canadian International Air Show. Fighter jets roared above Lake Ontario in breathtaking formations, pulling stunts that had the entire waterfront looking skyward. For many, this marks the unofficial end of summer. The noise, the excitement, and the spectacle, there's really nothing like it. The 2025 CNE had it all: food, music, culture, thrills, and memories. Over 1 million people came through the gates this year, making it one of the biggest summer events in Canada. From vow renewals to soca concerts, from SuperDogs to air shows, it was a celebration of everything that makes Toronto special. Until next year, see you at the X.